Yo, yo, yo. It's Mark's Tarot. I don't know what's wrong with that thing. I have no idea. It's weird. Hmm. Good. Hey, Sonny, how you been? You all right, sweetie? It's snowing heavily. Oh, hell no. That's too damn cold. I I uh I feel for you. Stay, yeah, you're just chilling. Literally. I'm doing good. Hope you're doing good as well. Yeah, here it's 73 and I still have my AC running because it gets humid upstairs in my room. Oh, you did? Okay, I gotta go check it out. Yeah, I don't want no snow. I feel for you. Stay warm. Snow, man. I don't know. I couldn't imagine. I remember I was in Rochester one time years ago, like maybe I would say maybe 10 years ago. Probably longer than that. But it's like, I think it was at least 10 years ago. I was in Rochester and it snowed so much when we were there that I went into I hardly ever see snow. But I remember it was so cold that all the snow fell. And I went in the middle of the road and I did like the angel thing. And I went on the ground. I got all dirty and all cold and wet. All my friends were laughing. I was like, this guy's crazy. That was like fun because I never see snow, I never ever see snow. So the first time I ever saw snow was probably when I was like maybe, I don't know, maybe 15. I was in Atlanta, of all places. And we were there in January. And it was me and like maybe six other guys. We all stayed in this big apartment complex place. And they were like, yeah, snow's gonna hit Atlanta, blah blah blah. We was like, oh shit. We were all excited. So we saw snow for the very first time, but it was cold. It was super cold. And it was the first time I ever remember seeing snow was in when I was like 15. And then after that, I saw it in Boston a few times. And then I saw it in Rochester. Oh yeah. I remember in Boston one time they had a blizzard. It was like my birthday weekend. I went out there in February, and when we got there, we knew like it was gonna be a like a blizzard and a snowstorm when we're out there, but we didn't give a shit. We ran anyway, right? And we walked to the stadium, so we didn't have to worry about driving or anything. And on our way to the stadium, our lips got purple. Like we were looking in the mirror, we were like, "Oh my god, my lips are purple! What the frick?" We couldn't even talk. We were like, it was like the funniest shit ever. Because we're not used to like the cold weather, right? So it affects us a lot different. Like it doesn't get lower than 50 here, And if the East Coast, like New York or Boston, has like a big snowstorm, and it comes towards us, and we're in the path of the after effect, it'll go maybe like to 45 or 47, and that's the coldest it'll be in Bermuda. But it'll only last like a day or two. But like the average temperature, it's November, right? November 3rd, and the temperature right now is 72. But other places it's not even nowhere near that high. But the winter only starts here like in January, February. It doesn't get that cold here, which is great. Yeah, I can imagine at the airport you're all open, right? So that's even worse. Heck no. I don't know how. I mean, I don't know how people live out in the states in that cold ass. But even in Boston, when I was there, I was like, how the fuck do these people live here? Like that's insane. Like the only time, like I can't handle a heater either. Like the heater, like messes with my system, like my sinuses, and it messes with my breathing. I feel like I'm in an oven. Like I can't handle it. Like when we were, I'd rather like kind of semi freeze in my bed in a hotel than put the damn heater on. But like you have no choice sometimes because in the hotel like they have it on like automatic and they kind of like make sure they don't let you touch it unless you call the front desk and say, hey, look, I want this shit turned off. Shut the cold water and let the hot water in all the pipes. It can get impossible to stay warm. Yeah, exactly. See, that's crazy. Like that's when like you're in a place that's crazy. Like, I don't know how people live like that. I could never live that way. That's crazy. But some people don't have a choice. I understand. But like me personally, I would never want to be in a cold place because I've been living here my whole life. So if I wasn't, it'd be a lot different. But even when I'm on vacation and like I'll go to Boston and it snows or wherever, I'll be like, oh hell no, I want to get out of here. And as soon as you get off that plane and you feel that Bermuda air, and you're like, yep, I'm out of that cold. I'm out of the snow. Thank God. But unfortunately, fortunately, my birthday is in February, and I used to have like sometimes my mom or my dad, like they would throw a party for me, and it would always rain or something like that. One year it was actually pretty good where I had my friends over, and we were, when I was younger, obviously. Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. It'll be a lot hotter over there. A lot, and you won't have to worry about no snow. I have a client I don't know if I told you, but I think I did. I have a client that has a house, used to have a house where you live, and he sold his house 2 years ago because he says he couldn't deal with it anymore because he's getting older. So like when he went out there when it was snowing, he was like, "Oh hell no! Like I can't live like this." I think he got snowed in one time and he couldn't handle it because he's had like surgery on his hips and he's getting older. So he's like, to hell with this, I'm selling the house. But he still goes out there, but he'll never go during the winter again. Yeah. He told me, yeah, Mark, it's too much for me to do now. I'm getting too old for that. I had hip surgery. And that place is like really cold. I'm like, oh yeah, I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Yep. So like I don't know exactly where he lived, but I know that he said he couldn't deal with it anymore because it was too much. So I was like, yeah, I don't blame you. I don't want no snow. Hell no. I can imagine Bermuda. I couldn't imagine Bermuda having snow like ever because like we'd be fine. We'd be screwed because nobody really has a heater like that. I mean, people in Bermuda do have heaters. I have an air conditioner that turns into heat, like you can turn it to the heater, but I don't use it. I've never used like the heater. Maybe once, maybe. I think like this year, I didn't use no heater. But I think it was like maybe 2 or 3 years ago, it got down to like 45, and I was like, yeah, I'm had enough. This too freaking cold, like. But the good thing is I live. I mean, my apartment has an upstairs and downstairs. So this is the downstairs part. So as you know, hot air rises. So the temperature down here is cooler, and the temperature upstairs is a lot hotter. You know, and that's the problem. Is it's very different in upstairs and downstairs. So when the winter comes, it's still nice and toasty upstairs, but downstairs it's like kind of a lot cooler. So I'm like, how? Yeah. Right, exactly. Yeah, I remember that happened. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, yeah. I remember. They have a big problem in Texas because of that. They were saying that they have to have like a bigger power plant or like deal with it in a different way. Yeah, yeah, right. Yep. Yeah, I don't I mean here I don't have to worry about winter time too much because where my parents' house where my parents live now is on the north side of Bermuda. So over there is like next to the ocean. So it's like, it gets like their house is a lot cooler. It's a lot colder because they live right next to like the ocean and like the northern air kind of makes it colder to live there. But up here, I'm on the south and I'm up high. So the cold air doesn't come up here that much. It's always on the bottom, like, you know what I mean? Yeah, they get the sea breeze. Here we get it too, but see, I'm so high and far away. Like I can see the ocean from where I live. I can see it clear as day. But it's a further away than my parents is like literally like it's right there, you know? It's a lot closer than I am. But like they're on the north and not I'm on the south. So the south doesn't really get that much. Hi Philomena, how you doing? So yeah, that's the situation. Because in the wintertime, people that live on the north side of Bermuda tend to be colder than us, like on the south here. And the good thing is in the wintertime I notice it doesn't get cold upstairs in my room. So like all my blankets is good enough. Like I don't need to put a heater on. Even when I go take a shower in the wintertime, like I never put my heater on in the bathroom either because I don't like that. I can't handle that heat like all it's just nasty. Like it's an artificial heat is disgusting. I just don't like it. I can't my body I can't breathe properly. So it affects me. Like that's why I can never live in a place where you need a heater. I would never want that. I'm like, ugh, can't handle no heater. Go ahead and ask your question, Philomena. It's crazy. But yeah, I feel for people out there in Boston, all my family out there, they go through that shit all the time, and I'm like, yeah, that's why I live here. No thanks. I don't want that life. No thanks. Boston's probably the coldest place I've ever been. Like, so far. Do you think it will be good for me to move with my cousin to Houston next year? All right, Philomena, if you do move with your cousin to Houston next year, it'll be good. I think you'll be kind of like depressed in the beginning because you're actually moving to another place and trying to get settled in. It'll be difficult at first, but if you work at it, you keep going, it'll be fine. Just try not to think of like the negative parts of things and stuff like that. Um, like as long as you leave your past behind when you do go, then that's the main thing. But if you do go, I feel like things will be good for you. Just have like courage and stuff, and you'll be all right. Whatever goals you want to attain and whatever you need, you'll get. If you do like begin this adventure, go in there and stuff like that, it'll be a gain for you to be good for you. And I would think it'll be a good experience to go somewhere else and start something new. But just remember, like when you go at first, obviously it's going to be a challenge. It's going to be like, you might feel like you miss home a bit. And after that, like things will get, as long as you work hard and put in the effort, you'll be all right. I got more positive here than anything. But if you're going for a short period of time, it'll be okay. If you're going for like the long haul, then like if you're going for good, then it's probably not going to be like too long before you go somewhere else or you go do something else. But in the beginning, I feel like it'll be good. It all depends if you're like, because the thing is, next year is not here yet. You know what I mean? I don't like to read too far ahead of time. But for right now, I would say that like when after you're there for a while, say you're there for like 2 months and you start to really think about what you need to do, what you have to do, like you might contemplate your decision. But I feel like it'll be good for you to do it. It's just that how long you want to stay there, that's the issue. How long do you want to stay there? Do you want to go for good, or are you just going for a little while? That's the thing. But it looks like it will be a good move for you. It's just it depends on how time goes. You know what I mean? Yeah, if you're going for good, then I would say that you'll probably get your own like place after a while. I think you might, if you're gonna move with your cousin, right? Like for instance, after a while, you might get your own place. You might not want to stay with your cousin all the time. Like that's the only thing I see here. And there might be some delays here and there, but overall, it looks like a good move, to go for good. But there's gonna be ups and downs, as you know. It's not like it's super good. Okay, well, yeah. If you're gonna move, then you'll be all right. But I don't see you staying there too long. Yeah. So that makes sense. Because I don't see you being there too long with with them. So I feel like you're gonna move after a while. It may even be less than a year. Or it depends on like how hard you want to work and how fast you progress. Like I feel like it's a matter of time before that happens. But it looks good. It's nothing. I didn't see anything bad. I just feel like you have to work hard and get over it's a good place to go to forget about your past and overcome difficulties and things like that. I also feel like your cousin will help you a lot. I feel like they're mature and they're a good person to deal with. So it looks good, Philomena. Looks good. If your cousin's like older than you, then I feel like they're mature enough to like know the decisions that they have to make. They'll guide you through everything. You know what I mean? And if you're the older one, then you will take charge and you'll be more mature and make better. Like you'll make better decisions and things like that. Sonny, are you still here? Would you like a postcard from Spirit? Yeah, that's fine, Sonny. It's okay. I like it quiet. It's cool. I just think that, it's a never ending story. Like for some people, like they just, I don't know. I don't even know what to say anymore. Some people never change. Let's just say that. No, nothing. I'm just saying, like people that come here, it's like the same shit, different day type of thing, No, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about like people that come in. Yeah, you know what I mean? Hey Mike, what's up, bro? How you been? Yeah. I actually told my friend about you yesterday on Instagram. She said that she was gonna add you to YouTube. All right. Yeah, sure, no problem. All right, your card, Sonny, is with love. It says, and your postcard says, "Dear Sonny, a rigid tree branch breaks under strong winds, yet flexible seaweed survives powerful ocean swells. Right now, we gently remind you that being flexible is a good choice when faced with life's challenges. Surrender your fixed ideas to Spirit, who knows what is in your highest good and can deliver to you what you need in the appropriate form. In this moment, rather than fighting or being too sure of your way working out, be a little be a little looser and allow for another outcome. Compromise can be the best way forward if you are to learn new ways of doing and seeing. Stay aware, curious, teachable. Take life and life's terms. Your life purpose may push you in the direction not on your map, but let it be. So flexible that no storm can uproot you. In the end, you will still be rooted in the world, in abundance, and you will indeed experience the beauty that is yours. We love you so much from Spirit. That was a long ass message. There you go. I think I'm sick again. I need to learn how to go with the flow. You're welcome, Sonny. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you're okay. Um, and if you are, that's pretty much saying, like, obviously you heard what it said. You can't be like a rigid tree branch that breaks under strong winds. You got to be flexible and be like that seaweed and say, nothing's going to break me. Nothing's going to hurt me. Nothing's going to, destroy me or kill me. Nothing's going to be like, nothing's going to get me, because if I'm that seaweed that just sits there while the waves crash on me, then I know I'm good. Hey, Mike, thanks for the donation, bro. You said last week, you said Sarah will get sick and she's sick. Yeah, sorry to hear that. I don't like to predict things like that, but when I see it, unfortunately. But yeah, you'll be fine, Sonny. You'll be fine. That's why I'm glad I got you that message there. So also, like it says here, like compromise can be the best way forward if you are to learn new ways of doing and seeing. So remember that sentence, Sonny. Sometimes we gotta compromise to go forward and learn new ways of doing and seeing. So you might have to do something new and see things in a different way, like you used to do it. You'll be fine, Sonny. You'll be fine. Try not to think about that. I know it's hard, sweetheart, but I feel like you'll be all right. I'm positive that you will be, and I'm positive that Spirit will help you. At the end of the day, you got to be the best version of you and don't let anything get you down, and just keep praying and stuff that you'll be fine. I'm sure you will be. What do you want me to check, Mike? You have a question? And thanks for the donation, bro. Yeah. Try not to get frustrated, Sonny, and just stay positive. And sometimes you gotta I feel like, Sonny, just like even after tomorrow, and because of that card came up, and just my gut feeling, I just feel like you're gonna have to do something, like make a transformation of the way maybe you eat, maybe you way you do things, the way I just feel like in order to get better, or to like move forward, like you're gonna have to like make a sacrifice, or to do something, or to be a certain way, like a worthwhile change, something that you have to change. You know what I mean? That's what I get. And the best thing is to not like not like punish yourself. You know what I mean? Like, if you know you're not doing something right, then obviously that's probably the situation. So you're gonna have to get rid of like old ways or old things, just so you can get better. But you'll be fine. I know you will. You're a strong woman. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. The good thing is, Sonny, you have a good spirit army around you. So they'll help you in no matter what. Your spirit army will help you. I know you definitely have a good spirit army around you, because I've seen a few of them. And I know they got your back. So just allow them to help you. That's all. Yeah. That's why I'm not really worried. I know you'll be fine. All right, Mike, you say, what do you see coming to me the next week? Hopefully a paycheck. You're welcome, Sonny. Anytime, sweetheart. All right, Mike. Let me see. For the next week or so, for the next 7 days is pretty much what it is. Try to be brave, obviously. Have the strength to move forward, do what you got to do. Don't rush into anything. Take everything one day at a time. If you have a son, then I think that your son is going to be, a big part of your life. Like this young man is going to be brave and help you out and do things, and be there for you. And I think that this son is like, look at you as his hero, as his person to go to. I feel like your son is gonna have a lot of action, a lot of things are gonna go on in his life this week. So you're gonna be dealing with your son majority of the time. Also, the same thing's gonna be happening with Sarah. There's gonna be like you trying to find a way to make her overcome all the things that she's going through. You're still gonna feel like you love her, you want to help her, and you're still going to try and do that. Like, try to help her reverse the bad trend, and I know you do that. Just it's telling me to tell you to continue to do that, but without arguments, you know, without the the quarrels, like the just know that there's still delays there. There's still the stagnation. There's still the try not to harass her, or like or even like beg her, or to tell her like this, or try not to argue with her at all. Like, yeah, don't argue, even if like there is like a type of argument there. Like, don't try and don't do that, because it'll just make it worse. Like, you know what I mean? So if you don't argue, that's great. But there might be like an argument between her and someone else, so you might have to be there for her. You know what I mean? Um, so that's what I see, like, pretty much is those type of things. But also, like, um, she might ask you for forgiveness. Obviously, you will. Yeah, probably like might be getting into an argument with her, maybe, and you might have to deal with some type of argument. Could be like a domestic like type of argument too. Um, but there is like delays, and like being stuck and things like that. Also, like, there might be like someone around you, maybe at work, or maybe just around you, that's jealous of you, that might rub you the wrong way. Could be like a person, could be like a young guy at your job, or somebody like that pissing you off. That's a possibility, like, you know what I mean? Just to cover all the bases there, pretty much. um don't entertain that shit, you know what I mean? Otherwise, that use your judgment, and account for your actions. Things will improve and develop over time. And I feel like at the end of the week, like, obviously this is the weekend coming up, going into next week, things will improve. Like, things will develop to get better. Um, if if you look at your past, like, try to make things get better. Like, try to make things get better, and if day by day, instead of dwelling too much on the past. That's what I get. But there could be like things could be good at work for you, um and things can get better at work. In some form of your life, things get better, you know even if it's with Sarah. If it isn't, because I don't really see a woman here, but what I do see is like you're asking me about yourself, so like things could get better for you in a work sense, or like just an overall better sense. It can get better. Like, things can improve and things can get better. If you're trying to like develop something, then things will develop fast and get better. And just like whatever actions you need to take the action, and then you'll get the results. That's what it's pretty much telling me. Now, if you're presented with some type of action where you have to act on it and make it happen, then make it happen. Like, don't hesitate. Don't rush into it, but don't hesitate to take the opportunity. If you're looking for like a promotion at your job, you might get it. Or if you're looking for like more hours or something like that, you might get it. Or and that's why like there might be some hateration around you with some other guys. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I see things being good for you, though. It'll be good. Things will improve. Everything will go according to plan. You'll be all right. I don't see nothing bad here. The only thing that's remotely bad is like arguments with people, or with someone, or just like somebody that you don't like, or like somebody's jealous of you. They might actually show it. You know what I mean? And like kind of aggravate you about it. But it's nothing to be worried about. At the end of the day, those people can kiss your ass at the end of the day. But yeah, exactly. That's the best thing. You might get. This is telling me you might get tested into an argument. So once you get a whiff of that argument, just say, "Yeah, I remember Mark said don't fucking entertain this shit." Leave it alone. Just let them talk. Could be somebody like around you, just aggravating you or whatever. But otherwise, that looks like you'll be dealing, with your kids. Obviously, could be dealing with your son a lot, and just you'll be. I think you think about your past a lot, and you think about your past efforts, and you want the outcomes of things to get better. Obviously, a lot of people dwell on their past, and they want things to get better, so they get into a mode where they're like, oh well, I can't do that shit again. That's my past. I don't want to get back into that again. So whatever situations you're getting yourself into in the next 7 days, don't allow your past to reoccur. You know what I mean? Right, yeah, and that's what it could mean. Yeah, so it looks like you're gonna improve from your past. So that's a good thing, Mike. Looks like you personally, you're on the right track. I can give you a spirit message if you want to, Mike. Well, as you know, a marriage is a 24/7 job. You know what I mean? That's probably why I'm not married. All right, bro. Your card is celebrate life. Spirit wants you to celebrate your life. And the card says, Dear Mike, you have a unique purpose and destiny that only you can fulfill. But first, you need to know that destiny isn't a destination. You don't arrive at some special place where, poof, you're perfectly and happily all the time. It's about establishing and firming up a commitment to a certain experience, whatever form that takes. Your soul knows what you need to experience. Your destiny is to be present to all of life's adventures, to discover your talents and your full potential through allowing inspiration to lead you, and to risk standing apart from the crowd to listen to your soul. You are special as much as you are also one with the world and individual, yet part of a great whole. Both truths have led you to this moment where you are saying you are on the right track, even if your ego self doesn't see that. Listen to your soul and check in with spirit. Just keep going. Spirit loves you, Mike. Life loves you, and we love you. I like that, Mike. That's nice. And you see that last sentence is what I've been telling you all this time. See? I'll read it again. Check in with spirit. Keep going. That's the final message. Check in with spirit and keep going. Remember, I tell you, check in with mom, and keep asking spirit to help you. The more you ask, the more you check in, the more things are going to keep going in the right direction. Because you're giving your task to spirit, so you don't have to deal with it. And then when you give your task to spirit, they deal with it. I have a saying that I always say. Everybody always says, Mark, I remember you say it all the time. I say, let go and let God. If you let everything go, all your worries, and just give it to God, you'll feel like a big burden off your chest and off your heart. Like, because you keep saying, I know God's got my back. I know Spirit's got my back. You just have to let it go. Once you let it go, then you know that everything's going to fall into place for you, because you're no longer in control of your own life. You just leave it to Spirit and to God to deal with. You just live, Yeah, that's good, Mike. It's telling you to continue to do that. And this message is pretty much like from everybody in spirit that's around you. And also the other night, when I was talking to your stepmom, and she was asking about her husband, So that's also like another person you could talk to if you're cool with him, you know? And if that's your dad, whatnot. Yeah, that's your dad. So you can talk to him as well. That's another person that you can help. Even though that day when I tapped into him, he wasn't, in the greatest of moods, obviously, because he was pissed off at somebody that's not doing what they're supposed to do. And as a father, you don't want your sons to act crazy. You don't want your children to be in a bad place. So even in spirit, they're going to be pissed off. It's life. It's like you right now. If you were passed away and one of your kids was acting crazy and doing stupid shit, wouldn't you be pissed off too? You're going to tell me the same thing, right? So like that's what I'm saying. So you can talk to him as well and help him to help you. And that's how it works. I try and tell people all the time. Like the people that you once knew in life, in real life, they can help you in spirit, with your life now. Because God can't possibly do it all on his own. That's why he sends spirit back to us to help us. There's billions of people and billions of spirits. We all have tons of help. We just don't ask for it. That's our problem. A lot of people don't think it's real, or they just don't think that it's going to happen. Or if it doesn't happen right away, then they have a meltdown. Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's another person that you can ask every day for help. If he's not mad at you and you're cool with him, and you guys are on a good good understanding together, then that's fine. Now, if you guys are not on good terms, then he probably would need an apology or forgiveness or something like that, and then you go from there. So that's it. It's all depends on what the deal is at the time. If he's proud of you, then obviously he'll help you. If he's not proud of you, then he's probably going to speculate and say, well, I'll try to help them even though they're doing the wrong thing. But it's hard, it's hard because I feel like, spirit also holds, those grudges in their mind too. I know I would if I was in spirit, because I wouldn't want to like help anybody that's not trying to help themselves. Because you can only do so much, even when you're in your physical form, you can only do so much. You can't really tell somebody to do shit, and they're not doing it. Yeah, if you've always been good, bro, then that's another person that you can talk to. Every day you can talk to him every day and say, "Hey, Dad, look, just help me out. I need my wife back. I need my life back. I need this. I need that." Yeah, talk to him every day, man. You can talk to both of them every day. You can talk to as many spirits as you want. You can even address them as your team, as your army, and just say in general, all of you help me. It doesn't have to be a specific amount of people or a specific person. Everybody has different people. It's wonderful to know that, and it's wonderful to depend on all those people. So that's why every time somebody passes away that I know, it's yet another person on my team that I know they'll help me because they know that I'll help them. And it's really weird. I'll tell you guys what happened to me yesterday. And it's amazing because I don't really tap into personal people's business or anything like that. I think it's kind of like not my thing. But sometimes it's presented to me, you know what I mean? So a friend of mine that I've known for a long, long time, she's a wonderful woman. She met a guy a couple years ago and got married, and she had a beautiful baby boy. He's about, I guess, 2 or 3, maybe 3 or 4 years old, something like that. Her husband passed away, but he went missing for a couple days, and they finally found him dead yesterday. It's very sad. He's only 32 years old, and when people die, and I find out about it, and I know of the person. I've seen the guy before. I've never met him, but I've seen him with her many times. in my travels. And as soon as that like went in my brain, um, the first thing I saw was that, you know, somebody did something to him, and I said to myself, I hope not. Like, I hope nobody, killed him or anything like that. But that's what I keep getting, that someone beat his ass up. And I say, but it can't be because this guy seems like such a good guy. He has, he loves his kid, he loves his wife. I ain't heard nothing bad about him. So it's kind of got to me a little bit. And I was like, this is weird, like, and a person told me today that he's like a recovering drug addict. And I was like, you sure? And the person's like, look, Mark, I swear to God. And I'm like, I would have never, ever guessed that. Because that, I can like, I grew up around a neighborhood full of drug addicts and crackheads and freaks and all that stuff. So I can tell, like, you know what I mean? But I don't really know him like that. But like from looking at him, I would have never thought that, right? So apparently, he got back. He got, he was clean for a while, but then he slipped up, and that's how, that's why I kind of saw like the situation there on his death. So I was like, oh well, I don't want to look into it any further because it's none of my business. But like, it's crazy. I can't even help it because it gets presented to me. You know what I mean? Like, I want to help or maybe bring that person closure, but like it's none of my business. So I just stay out of it. I kind of like blocked it out of my mind for a bit, and then I was like, I hope that didn't happen. But when it all comes to light, I'm gonna see if it was really what I saw or really what happened. But it's sad though. And another, hey Tristan, how you doing? And I also had a friend of mine. She's my age. She passed away from cancer last week. I couldn't believe it. My sister sent me the post on Facebook, and she moved. She was living in Bermuda all her life, and she moved to Portugal recently. And she's probably like maybe a year or two younger than me, maybe. I don't know, maybe something like that, maybe 43, 44, something like that. And she died from cancer as well. Hey, Margot, how you doing? And I couldn't believe it. I was like, this year, like a lot of my friends have passed away from heart attacks and cancer and all sorts of shit, man. It just reminds me that life is short. You're here today, gone tomorrow. So I try not to dwell too much on the negative part of life or negative shit, and just try and stay, happy as much as I can, and live life as fully as I can, and just realize that, I can die any day. I always say the only thing that's guaranteed in life is death. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, I speak my truth. How you doing, sweetie? Yeah, Tristan, it's sad. And when I heard my friend's hubby was a drug addict, I was like, you gotta be kidding me. That can't be possible. And he's only 32. And I'm like, how the fuck is this even happening? It's sad though, because one of my very good friends died from heroin years ago, and he was in his 30s. He was like 31, I think. And I'll never forget it, man. I saw his whole body deteriorate in front of my eyes. I couldn't believe it, and it was probably one of the worst funerals I ever went to, and I don't even like going anymore. Sorry to hear that, Sonny. My condolences go to everybody in this room, including my own self. I can't imagine, like, and everybody that's passed away. Like, all my friends that have passed away this year have left children behind, and their wives or their husbands behind. And that's the saddest part of it all. Is and I know a lot of people in this room probably don't have their parents. But for me, like I have my parents still. Like my dad's 79 and my mom's 76. And like it like I'm so glad I have them around. But I know people who lost their parents early in life. And I know parents who have lost their kids and shit like that. So like that's just, now this 2-year-old, this 3-year-old kid lost his dad. And it's like, fuck, man, it's just, it hurts my heart to know that, these, I know it's life and I know it happens, but like I haven't experienced that, because I still have my parents. So when people tell me that they lost their parents at a young age, it hurts, that I don't know what they're going through, but at least I can like give them some type of closure, or try to at least, or maybe they have found closure, so it's different. But I want to remind everybody, like I remind everybody all the time, those people that are passed away are all our friends still and all our families still, and we can still talk to them. They're listening, and they'll give you a sign, and that's the beautiful part of it is they go out of their way to help us if we go out of our way to acknowledge them and believe that because I know that for sure, and if you're not doing nothing bad or disrespecting them in you know in their spirit life or talking shit about them, then they have no reason to disrespect you either. But if you recognize them and acknowledge them, then they're going to help you just as if they were to help you in real life. Take my word for it. I've proved it many times, and I'm sure a lot of people see signs every day from people like that. Yeah, sorry to hear that, Sonny. Yeah, Mike. Yeah, I know, and I feel sorry for my friend and her son. His like that's the thing. If I don't know. I guess I think different. And I try to tell myself all the time, no, not everybody's like me, and not everybody's like you, and not everybody's the same. But I used to drink and smoke weed for 20 years. And 5 years ago, I woke up and said, I'm not doing this shit no more. Like, I'm not going to smoke cigarettes. I'm not going to smoke weed. I'm not going to drink alcohol ever again. And I kept my promise to myself. And I asked God, I asked Spirit to help me to like let it all go and give it all up because I know it was deteriorating my body. I know by doing those things, I was around the wrong people. And if I do those things, I can't be a psychic or a medium because I'm going to be too high. I'll be high as fucks on here talking about, hey, I can see this. I don't want to be that fucking clown ass on here going viral over being some high ass stupid psychic that's drunk and high or something. Not like I ever got like that, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be like that person. And as my nephews got older, I didn't want them to see me doing those type of things. So, because I have a serious influence on them, they look up to me. So I don't want them to like do what I do. And then I'm going to be like the cause of it. I didn't really change for them, but I changed for myself. So the past 5 years, I had to get rid of all those things out of my life, and I didn't abuse any of those things. I just felt like it was time for me to stop. You know what I mean? And I have never looked back, and I don't have the urge to do it ever again. I've totally completely changed my whole life. So if I can do it, I feel like if I can do it, anybody can do it. Like, because I know like for doing it for 20 years straight, like how are you supposed to stop? That's what I kept telling myself. But after a while, I said, you know what? I can do it. And I did. I manipulated my mind to understanding that it's for the best. Like, that's the thing. I just focused on everything else, Margot. I focused on my business. I focused on my life, my family, and I focused more on coming on here. And the past 3 years, I've really transformed my life because I needed something to do, And I was like, if I stop, I gotta try. I have to have another hobby, I have to have another habit, but a good habit. So that's when like I started to come on here, talk. I used to go on like when I first stopped 5 years ago, I used to come online, talk to people, see people in the chat that was, going through all these problems. And I'm like, shit, my little problems ain't nothing compared to these people. I mean, you're in these, these psychic chat rooms, you see a lot of spiritual people, you see a lot of like positivity, you see a lot of people who go through a lot of bullshit. And what really changed me was like seeing everybody who's been through all the deaths and like having no parents or, losing a child, and those things affected me, right? So I started to say, you know what, I can help these people just like how they're helping me go through, you know, what I'm going through now. So um the past 5 years I've been on YouTube and on these channels, and the past 3 years I've had my own channel, which now I'm the person who's, helping people and telling people, if I can do it, you can do it. It's that easy. And people say, well, Mark, it's not that easy. But it is. You just have to tell yourself, yeah, it takes some strength. Absolutely. I agree. But you really have to like tell yourself, no, I'm not doing it. And you have to like completely change your mind and say, I gotta focus on something. I gotta change I changed my entire life. And that's what I try and tell people. You have to change your entire life. You have to like completely do a 360 and say, okay, I'm not gonna smoke, I'm not gonna smoke weed, I'm not gonna smoke cigarettes, I'm not gonna drink, I'm not gonna hang around these people, I'm not gonna do none of this shit. So now I'm gonna go to work every day. And when I find myself with the urge to do that shit again, start doing something else. Go for a drive, go walk at the beach, come home and start, fixing something, paint, clean, wash, cook, do something. Like take your mind off everything. Call your mom, call your dad, hang out with my nephews. Like I had everything in front of me to manipulate my mind to not going backwards again. And there's times where I was like, you know what? I really feel like, having a cigarette today, or I feel like cracking open a beer and say, fuck it, and it didn't happen. Like, I don't do it. I'm like, no, stupid. No, that's not going to happen. No. Like, I just don't want to do it no more. And you know what? People can do it casually, sociably, once in a while. People try to get me to do that too. And I'm like, oh, well, just do it once in a while, man. Just don't completely stop. And I'm like, no, I need to completely stop because I just can't do it casually. It wasn't meant for me to do it every now and then. Once my mind's set, it's set. And then it benefited me. See, so when I started to come on here and talk to other people and then finally have my own channel, and I'm still here right now. So if I wasn't here, I'd probably be doing those things still and probably be still, in La La Land. But thank God I didn't turn back. So, when I hear of people who have an addiction or have like issues like that and they clean up and then they go back. And how could you go back if you have a wife and kids? Like, that's what I don't understand. Like how like some people, the understanding of you have what people don't have and what people dream of. And how could you like go back to your addiction? Your addiction should be your family. Your addiction should be your kids, your husband, your wife, your job. That's what you got to make your addiction. You got to make that your addiction. You got to make that your daily life. Focus on that shit every single day. All that drugs, alcohol, and cigarettes and shit like that, that should not be your addiction. Like, your addiction should be, I want to live life with my kids. Like, because, I don't have kids, but I've always wished to have kids. I have 6 nephews. The youngest is 13 and the oldest is 21. And I've watched all of them grow up. And the best parts of them were when they were young, when they were a baby, when you can hold them, watch them go to sleep. They're so cute. They say their first words, they laugh, you get to do things. You see their first of everything. You know what I mean? And you continue to see that, as they grow, as they grow, as they grow. But I miss when they were a baby. And how can people give up those times for an addiction? I still don't get it. And people always say, it's hard to break an addiction or it's hard to do that. I don't Like I still find that like hard to like, swallow, because I know that everybody can manipulate their mind. If you can tell your mind to do drugs, you can tell your mind not to do it. And I know it sounds crazy, and I know people say, well, Mark, it's not that easy. But to me, it can be if your mind tells you it can. So, I can debate it out all night and tell you this all night. But at the end of the day, um, I feel like, uh, you can do it. I encourage everyone to do it. I encourage everybody to, you know, be more positive, live your life to the fullest. As I watch people die like flies every day, it worries me. It tells me like, well, what else do you want to do, Mark? Because you can go tomorrow too. And if I do, I can honestly say I've had a good life so far, and I have no regrets. I've done a lot of things that people don't haven't done, and I've helped thousands of people in the last 3 years. And I'm proud of myself, and I know that I love myself, and I care about myself, and I care about the people that love me, and I love them, and that's all that matters to me at the end of the day. I treat everyone equal, and I treat, I'm the type of person, you treat me like shit, then I'm gonna treat you like shit too. You treat me good, I'll treat you good. You love me, I'll love you. That's how my life, and that's how my mind is. Respect is earned. The more you earn, the more you learn, the more you earn. That's my life. That's how I live my life. But I'm not saying everybody has to live your life as a certain person or look up to somebody. I'm just saying you should make better choices and always manipulate your mind. The only manipulation you should be doing is to yourself, to your mind, and telling yourself, I can do this, I can do that, I can change, I can make myself better, I can stop doing this, I can stop doing that, I can be this person if I want to, I can do this, I can do that. There should be no can't and no negative shit coming out of your mouth. It should always be like, you putting yourself first pretty much. But it's easier said than done, I understand. But it's up to you to make the choice. That's how I always look at it. You know, we've all been through a lot of things, so it's good to vent. It's good to talk about it. It's good to like talk to like-minded people, people in the same age bracket, or people who have gone through worse. So it makes you feel like your life isn't that bad as theirs. Because some people honestly think, I think a lot of people have the perception that their life is worse than everybody else's. Like no one's gone through what they've gone through. And absolutely, you're wrong, because there's always somebody that's had a life worse than you, or a life that you couldn't imagine that they have. You know, I think people dwell too much on people who have a better life than a worse life. You know, I don't care if your life is better than mine. You do whatever you want. I'm happy for you. And if your life is worse than mine, I'm gonna try and probably help you, if anything. But you can help, and sometimes it doesn't help that person because it only lasts so long before they go back into their shell. And it's up to them. You can do as much as you want. Hey Jan, how you doing? I didn't even see you there. But it is what it is. We got to do what we have to do to make ourselves happy. And I always believe that. If anybody wants a card, let me know. I'm doing spirit messages today. That's my dog in the background. She's snoring and making all sorts of noise. Mm-mm. Sure, Jan. Okay. Jan, your postcard from Spirit is be fearless. All right. This says, Dear Jan, on Earth, humans learn about life by telling stories and creating new ones based on shared experiences. Eventually, after repeating one often enough, it becomes your main story that you use to define yourself and the world. So, to get the answers you seek, you must get vulnerable and hear your story when you tell it. Ask, why do you tell it? And is it really true? What else can be true? Can you see the truth that spirit is in all things? Do you see how other stories overlap and intertwine? Spirit loves stories, for they are like blueprints for co creation. So tell the one we know to be true about you a story of courage, gratitude, and honesty. Tell an empowered story about well being, wisdom, and grace. You will experience your world accordingly to the story you tell about it. So make sure they're stories you're proud of. Genuinely loving fan club. So Spirit's telling you to be fearless. Do what you have to do. Tell the stories that are true and tell the stories that empower you. Tristan, you said, how did you first start seeing spirit? Um, Honestly, I always like saw spirit from when I was young. I always found myself talking to them, and I didn't even know what it was about. Honestly, I really didn't. I just thought these are just people that you see. I was talking to them and whatnot. You're welcome, Jan. And because my mom, when I got older, my mom told me that when I was 9 months old, my grandfather was on his deathbed, which is her father, and he lived in Portugal and we live in Bermuda. So my mom got on a plane with me at 9 months old to go see her dad because he was pretty much going to pass away. He was on his deathbed. So my mom arrived and she got to see her dad one more time, and he was on his bed and I was 9 months old. And when my mom told me that story, I got the whole vision and the whole like seeing my grandfather. And I've never seen a picture of him ever. And when my mom showed me a picture of him and him and my grandma, I got to see my grandma, his wife, which is my mom's mom. I got to see her a few times. And even seeing my grandfather at 9 months, and my mom used to say, he used to say, "Bye, Mark. Hi, Mark." And I was like, the grandson I was the only grandchild that he saw, pretty much. On my mom's side, because he didn't get to see anybody else, and because he was always working and stuff, so he didn't travel or never came to Bermuda. He actually worked in California for years with his brother, and then he retired, and then he pretty much passed away. So when my mom told me that story, I actually saw my grandfather, and he actually showed me that whole day, and he like how before he died, and then my mom pretty much had me in her arms, at 9 months, and like my mom said that he pretty much said goodbye, and then he passed away. I was like the last person he said bye to, him and him, my mom and me. So I always have that vision of that. And then one day when I went to Portugal to visit my grandma, I went up into the room. She asked me to go get something. I went into the room and it was like deja vu. And I was like, fuck, this is what I see in real life. Like, this is what I see when my mom says that I was 9 months old and saying goodbye to my grandfather. It was the same like setup, the bed, the walls, everything. When I was in there, and my grandma was like, "Mark, you got that?" I was like, "Yeah, yeah, I'm coming, I'm coming." So that was like when I was like maybe 12 years old. And I was like, "This is crazy. Like, how can this possibly be? Like, I already, saw this whole thing." So I would say, like, when I was 12, that's when I actually realized that, spirit can show me things that I've never seen before, or show me things that happen that they can go back and show me like a film. Like I tell everybody when I do mediumship, it's like a movie. It's like somebody has a clicker and they're showing me like a slideshow. Every slide that comes by, they show me something else. And I just keep like describing what I see or what I see. So like that image was in my brain from an early age. And then when I actually got to see the room that my grandfather died in, it was like, what the heck? Like I saw that already. I've seen this already. Like, he showed me about this whole thing already. So that was like one of the weirdest experiences I've had. And that's when like I first said to myself, something's going on here. And then when I was like 22, I went back to Portugal again. And I went by myself. And I was sitting on a park bench drinking a beer. And a psychic guy came up to me. I knew he was a psychic because he married my cousin. And he came up to me and I can feel like him trying to like mess around with my energy a bit. And he told me, "Hey, I'm a psychic and I help a lot of people. And I don't need to help you because you already have the power to do so. You just don't want it." And I denied it. I denied it. And I was like, "Yeah, I don't want to do that shit." You guys, look, stop lying to yourself. You can do shit for a living if you want. And you're just as, you have the power to do it. So why don't you do it? And I'm like, "Look, I don't want nothing to do with this psychic shit. I don't believe it. I don't want nothing to do with it." And I kept denying it. Even at the age of 22, I started to deny it and deny it and deny it. And then, and when I was like 23, I'm 45, by the way. But when I was like 23, I went on this, I went on on a site one time and I saw people doing like cards and shit like that. And I was like, "Yeah, this is pretty cool." I like, I like playing cards, like, playing spades and rummy and euchre and games with my friends and shit like that. And then when I was like about 26, I said, "Yeah, I'm gonna start doing cards. I'm gonna start like doing this stuff. And I'm gonna see if I can read people." So I practice on my sister and I practice like on other people, behind the scenes and things like that, or just like shuffling cards and see what I will get. I can never read myself, obviously, but that's a good thing. But and then I just started and then I bought my first tarot deck, and I just kept reading and reading, and then here I am now. So it's been a journey, but let's just say like pulling cards is one thing, but talking to spirit is a whole nother ball game. It's like the mediumship part of it is a different experience. It's hard because you want to help the person on the receiving end, but sometimes that person is lying to me, telling me that, you know, that person isn't what they're like. The thing is, some people say, "Hey, can you check and see if this person is a, whatever." And that person really doesn't say, the spirit doesn't say too much to me because there's some beef going on between those people. So it becomes very difficult for me to like call the person out because I don't want to be sitting on here live arguing with people. If the spirit's telling me that something's up with you, then, how would you feel telling that person that? And I'm a straight up guy. I'll tell you straight up, like, this person ain't telling me something because, it's obviously something wrong with you, or you're not doing something in your daily life, or there's someone around you that this person doesn't deal with. So that's why you're not going to get anything from this person right now because they kind of maybe blame you because that person's not doing something. Like, it's like, I feel like some spirits still hold a grudge or they're not happy that you're not being, you know, for instance, like if the husband is passed away and the mom is taking care of the kids and she's not doing a good job, he's going to be pissed. And if she asks me to ask about her husband, and the husband's not giving me no information or telling me something, and she's denying it and knows it's true, then that person probably not going to come back to me, because they're going to be like, fuck, I lied. I kind of lied. It is like that, But, I'm not expecting you to tell me the truth, because I know that sometimes people find it hard to believe that this is actually real, or it is really that way. Or they might just keep denying it, and then that's it. So it works both ways, and sometimes it's the other way around, where like the child will come to me and say, hey, can you check my mom and my dad and see if they're okay? So then the parent would tell me, look, I don't even want to talk to my child because they're doing all this bullshit. Well, and then the person's telling me that. So I'm like, great, here I am in another position where I'm like, I have to like see what's going on here, because this is not right. And sometimes it's just bang, bang, bang. It's perfect. It's like there's a perfect relationship, a perfect connection between that person, and the reading goes perfectly fine. But when it's all like, up and down and there's not much information, I know there's something there that's making me believe otherwise, like, or making me like doubt what's going on, or if somebody's lying to me. So this is the only like bad part of doing that type of stuff, is sometimes people are like living in denial, or they act stupid and act like they don't, like that's not really happening. So like that's the only part I don't like. And then sometimes people will come to me like 2 days later and be like, oh, I figured out who it was, Mark. It was this person that they're mad at, or it's this is the reason why they didn't say anything, because, I am doing this, and, I didn't think about it at the time. You caught me off guard, or, or they'll come clean and tell me the truth. So it's hard, because like if people are lying to you, right, or telling you something, and you see and you're hearing something, and like it's right, but that person is lying, it makes you doubt your gift, or it makes you doubt that you're really getting an answer from the right person. But if you've confirmed to me already that I'm telling you it's the right person, then you got yourself to blame for lying, or you got yourself to blame for asking me to talk to this person, knowing that this person is not really want to talk to you, or even give you information, or even say anything to you. So that's why I kind of tell people now, straight up, don't ask me to go into spirit and talk to somebody that you don't like, or they don't like you. That's something for you to clear up on your own, because I don't want to have to call you out and tell you exactly what this person's saying, and then you're going to be like, I wasted my time and my energy and my money. So it can be like that sometimes. It really can. Or it can turn into like a crying fest, where people sit there and cry all the time and be like, they're right. Yes, it's right. I am trying, and they're like, tell them this and tell them that. I don't have to tell them anything. That's your job. You got to tell them on your own time. Like, and sit there and talk to them like I do. You can talk to spirit. They'll listen. You call them in, say, I need to speak to Mark or Bob or Rob or Sue or whoever. And you sit there, hey, mom, listen, I know I haven't been doing things right, but, I want to do things right. I want you to help me. I know you're in spirit. Can you please help me, forgive me, whatever the case may be. You can do that. It's not too late for that. So, like I said, that's the only part of, seeing spirit and dealing with spirit, is that you got to understand it. They're going to tell me everything. So if you're lying, it's not good. If you're lying to yourself, that's even worse. So it's difficult, because if you contact spirit, sometimes you don't have to contact them. Sometimes they'll contact me, or they'll be like, or like I said, like my friend's husband died, and the first images I got was that something happened to him, like he got murdered, or he got killed by somebody. And I was like, that can't be true. Like I doubted that message, because I was like, as far as I know, this guy is so cool. Why would somebody do that to him, And then when I heard about the drug addiction stuff. I was like, oh, well, maybe that makes sense now why I saw what I saw. But I can't confirm that because I have to find out, what the news report is, and things like that to see if that was really the case. And Lord knows you might never know because it might be a private thing where nobody's gonna know unless I ask the person myself. So it becomes very difficult to do those, to see those things and to deal with it. And another thing that's difficult is when people have taken their lives, any spirit that I deal with that's committed suicide, it's even worse. They will say, "Hey, Mark, look, I committed suicide. I'm sorry. I feel bad. I this person that's gonna ask you this. Tell them everything. Tell them I'm sorry. Tell them I fucked up. That shit affects. That affects me a lot because some people actually show me how they died and what they did, and I'm like, yo, I don't want to see all that shit. Please don't do that. I know you. You told me I take your word for it. I don't need you to show me how you did it. But some people are like, they don't take no for an answer. They say, look, Mark, I have to show you. And I want you to explain that to them. Like that, I'm sorry I did that shit. And it gets the people get emotional. Sometimes I do too. I'm cried plenty of times because I don't, I can control it now more because I'm used to it. But when I first started doing it live and in public and all that, and even readings, like it's hard, Absolutely, because they ask for forgiveness, and it's always been told to everybody, that God will forgive you and bring you into heaven, but you got to ask for forgiveness, and obviously, people make mistakes, people sin, and that's the way it is, and there is peace for them, definitely, there's definitely peace for them because they realize what they have done. So their mission now is to help you in spirit. You got me? So if somebody has taken their life, you have somebody, I know everybody knows somebody. Everybody in this room knows somebody who took their life. And if they do that, they obviously know they did the wrong thing. But they also know that they hurt the people close to them. So what they do in return is God tells them, in my opinion, God says to them, look, you fucked up. You took your life. Now, if you want me to accept you into heaven and into the, and to have peace, the best thing for you to do is to help the people that you love, that you hurt. And that's the only way you're going to find peace is if you actually help those people in spirit to get where they have to do and go and do what they have to do. And people tell me all the time, Mark, I see signs all the time. I dreamt of them the other day, or I walked outside and there was a feather on the ground, or there was a penny, a dime, and some type of sign. I see this, I see that, or their birthday was today and something amazing happened to me, and I know that's true. And people say those stories all the time, and it is true. So even people who take their own lives, I still feel like they'll find peace, and some of them don't because they grudge themselves. Like when I'm actually making the connection, they're showing me like their child or their wife or their whatever, and then it kind of makes them feel like they like it brings the movie back to them again. So like it's like a rerun in their minds. So like I should have never done this shit. But hey, it's done. It's done. You can't take it back. The only thing you can do is continue to help in spirit. That's it. That's how I always view it, and that's how I always think about it. And I know for sure that happens. Because I've read. I don't know which video it was, but you can go and look at my videos. I have all of them up. And the video is probably about 2 years ago. I was by myself. It says mediumship readings. And I swear to God, I have to go find the video myself. I don't really want to because I don't want to go back to there and look at it again because there was a lot of crazy things that happened in that video. But it's about 4 hours long, and I did a mediumship night one night. And I sat here for 4 hours and I read 10 people. And out of those 10 people, 8 people were people who committed suicide. And I was like, what the fuck is going on tonight? How the hell is this even possible? That I'm doing mediumship readings for 8 out of 10 people who are committed suicide, and all different ways. One by a shooting, one by drugs, one by hanging themselves, things like that, like crazy things that I would never think that's possible. And that night humbled me more and more every day. Like that night woke me up. That night said to me, "See, Mark, this is what people go through. You should be thankful you don't have to go through this shit." I'm not saying it's like it's a blessing not to go through that, because anything happens. People can still do that in my life. I went to school with a guy who committed suicide, and it hurt me because we used to be good friends. And I wish he would have never, if I would have known, he would have, but see, that's the thing. You can know all you want. You can try and help people all you want, but they're going to do what they're going to do at the end of the day. It's nobody's fault. You can only help somebody so much. But if that person wants to take their life, there's nothing you can do about it. Even if you stop them from doing it once or twice, they're still going to do it. It's hard, Yeah, it's hard. I've seen, I've done a lot of readings for people, and the suicide stuff is sad, but it's I've seen like that one time I did those readings for those hours. I didn't even sleep that night. I couldn't. I was awake the whole night with all those visions in my mind, saying, "I can't believe this shit has happened," to these people. Like I genuinely felt sorry for everybody I read for. And one reading still sticks in my mind more than any. And uh, like I said, I'm not going to go into detail, obviously, but it was a guy who committed suicide. He took me through the whole thing, and the girl was in amazement how that shit was actually, how I can see all of those things about her even telling me. And I was like, look, it's not really me. It's just I can see what he wants to show me to prove that this is what happened. Like, so he wants you to know step by step what he did, how sorry he is, and that he's there like for you regardless. And he wants you to know that this is what he did, this is what he did. So it's crazy, that one particular reading, I let the guy show me how he killed himself, because he was eminent on that. And he wanted me to tell his girlfriend how he killed himself and like what got him to that point. And when I told her everything, she was happy that she finally knew the truth. And then like I'd say about a week later, she talked to the guy's sister, I think. And she told him everything. And she said, "Mark, everything you said, that he said to you, the sister said and confirmed like everything that happened, that he did kill himself like that." Because she wasn't allowed in the apartment, but the sister was, because she's family, right? But the girlfriend wasn't allowed. So she couldn't see like and identify the body type of thing. So when the sister went, the sister told her everything. But he wanted me to tell the girlfriend. The boyfriend wanted me to tell the girlfriend because the sister didn't want to say anything to her because she's just the girlfriend, So he told me to tell her everything. So once she found out it was true, it made even things better. It gave more closure to her. And yeah, some people would be traumatized, but the thing is like once you learn how to control it, then it becomes more, you become more aware that this shit is actually happening in the world. Because it's difficult to see those things and to hear people go through that. And I couldn't imagine taking my life. I just can't. I just don't see myself ever doing that. But some people do. Some people could say, "Fuck it, I'm taking my life and I don't care." And this is why I tell people everybody's different. Everybody's different. Nobody's the same. You may have same teams that you go for, same goal, same job, same glasses, same shirt, but you're not the same person. You don't have the same mentality. Everybody thinks different. There's people out there that are very fragile. They go through a lot of shit and they just give up. Some people fight, some people give up. It's life. It's sad. I wish people would never take their life because you can always fix yourself, and let yourself naturally die from whatever. But taking your own life, I don't condone that. But I don't grudge anybody for it because I know people go through a lot of things, and if you do it, you do it. You can always know that in spirit, you can always come back and make up for that, stuff. If the people that you hurt allow you back in, they might say fuck you and not have you around ever again. They don't even want to deal with you because you killed yourself. So it's very difficult dealing with those things, but I've learned to deal with it, and I have to be strong for the person. I have to be strong for both parties and know that I'm the person who has to see it, believe it, translate the message, channel the message, help the person, and disconnect from it all so it doesn't affect me. So it's a big job. It's a lot to do, and I don't particularly like doing it a lot. That's why I don't do it a lot. But back then, I was doing it a lot, and I had to stop doing it on here for hours and hours because it drove me crazy at one point. But it's hard because I'm the channel. I'm the person that can get you the message, and if the connection is good, I can be there. All night like I was that day. It was just one of those nights where everybody was there, and it's crazy because there's 10 people I've never seen them since, and that was like 2 years ago. But they got their closure. That's all that matters. I don't have to see you every time because you got your closure. You got the information you needed, and that was it. You know. But I know some people that have a lot of people in spirit. And they get like different. There's people who I know that are coming here, and they have like multiple spirits that have come through. Sunny, if she's still here, she can confirm that. I remember when I first met Sunny, she was coming in here, and every time she came in here, it was like an automatic another spirit. It was crazy. Every other day, like every time she came in, every other time another spirit, a different person will come through. And it's like, this is nuts. Like, 3 different people in a week. But there's some people that I read for, and the whole family will come through. It's crazy. It blows my mind sometimes. Yeah, I used to see spirit at a young age, yeah. But I used to see my family. See, I saw my grandfather, but I saw him when I was 9 months old. But like I told that story earlier, like I was when I was like in school. I remember being in kindergarten, and I bring like a TV guide to school, and my teacher was like, "Why would you bring a TV guide to school?" And I said, "Because there's a man watching my TV all the time, and if I take the TV guide away, he can't see what's on TV." And she was like, "Okay, this kid's fucking crazy." And they told my parents that I bring the TV guide and put it in my locker, right? And I'll never forget it. And I started, like, I speak Portuguese too, right? So when I was young, my parents used to always teach us Portuguese, right? So I would say Portuguese things to the teacher because it was a Portuguese spirit. It was probably my grandfather, it was my grandfather. But I didn't know when I was 6 who the hell he was because I've never seen him. But he was watching my TV in my room. And I would see this guy watching. I said, "Who the fuck is this guy?" Like, I can see him, but he would like go to the TV guide. And I one day I was like, I don't want this guy to watch my TV anymore, so I'm taking the damn TV guide. And I'll never forget that day I did that. And everybody's like, "Why would you bring a TV guide to school, bro?" But Now it's like I don't really now I block it all out until I have to deal with it because it gets too overwhelming, you know. Yeah, Mike. We all need. I'm glad we all found each other. When I used to come on here, I found the wrong people sometimes, But now I feel like I have all the right people around me, which is great. Um, some people still don't believe this stuff. Some people still don't believe that it's true. And some people have an experience with me where they don't get what they want, and some people get more than what they bargained for. So I can't guarantee you anything, and I never guarantee anything because sometimes spirit doesn't want to talk to you, or they're not really, wanting to talk to you. Um, and they just like having their own agenda. And if you're not, like, I always stress this to everybody, if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing in your life, then they will grudge you for that. They won't want to talk to you because they're mad at you because you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. And it's happened many a times where I'm like, look, I don't mean to be, it's just not going to happen because this person's telling me they don't want to speak to you. And I probably won't see that person anymore because they say, fuck, Mark knows the truth. I look like a real idiot coming to him and wasting his time. I don't want people to feel that way, but like you have to understand that this is real. Like spirit is real. People that passed away, they still exist. You have to understand that. And I know it's crazy, and I know like people think it's bullshit, but I've proved it. So, and a lot of other mediums have proved it, not just me. I'm not the only medium in the world. A lot of people can see shit that I can't, and vice versa. But sometimes it's really, really like, we're honest to God. I'll smell a cigarette smoke, and nobody around my house is smoking. I would smell onions, and I don't even have onions in my house. I don't even eat onions like that. And the person would be like, "Oh, my husband was eating onions, and he loved." I'm like, "Oh, fuck, okay." Then I'll be like drinking water and smell coffee. And there was one lady that came in here, and I started to smell the perfume the person used to wear, and the woman just started crying like crazy because she was like, "Yeah, she had that type of perfume." Trust me, I've cried many a times with people in readings, and it hurts. It hurts a lot to see people go through those things, and it's another level. Some people don't understand what. I don't really go through any trauma or anything like that. I learned how to control it. I can control it now. Before I couldn't, but now I can control it. Whereas I tell spirit, all right, that's enough. I don't want to see nothing. You need to go away. Like I can control them now. They can't control me no more. They used to. They used to be like in line. Hey, it's my turn. Look, tell that fucking person. I'm like, hey, no. That's it. I'm the channel. I'll turn it on when I want to. So I had to get, strict with them and say, no, that's not happening. You're not going to control me no more. I'm controlling you. If I want to speak to you, I'll speak to you. If I don't want to speak to you, you can, when this person's done, I'm not going to give the person the message if you piss me off, But honestly, I've met some wonderful spirits that I still love till today and would love to talk to because it's a blessing to have good spirits around you. It's really, really nice. So, and the reason they come to me because they know I'm going to tell the truth. Like I don't bullshit nobody. That's not my thing. Like, because I know I'll get karma for that shit, and I don't want karma. I don't like karma. Oh yeah, that day with the pilot, Sonny, that made me that made me. I didn't even know you were a pilot, and you never said anything like that to me. I didn't even know you. So when that happened, I was like, "Who the heck is this? This doesn't make no sense to me." Because I would have never thought you were into that stuff. But like I said, my eyes get open to things but that's the proof of it all. See, the less I know you, the more it becomes believable. But some people say, oh well, he knows her, so it's like it's staged, you know. Yeah, it's like I don't want people to think that it's bullshit because it's not, you know. And I don't beg people to make confirmations for me. People just outright tell you, like, you know, that's what it is. Yeah, Tristan, you're right. And that's what I'm trying to say is spirit. See what you just said? Spirit literally doesn't exist in their reality. So people think that when you die, you go to heaven and you get locked up in some fucking cage and that's it. You know, you're fine. You're never going to come back. You know, people don't understand that. You know, like people, you know, spirit is spirit. They can show up when they want to. You know, and if you believe, you'll receive. I say that every day. Spirit means strictly our deceased ancestors. Um, it means to me, spirit to you should be the people that you know and don't know, possibly. Um, like it is to me, it's more spirit will come to you more if it is people that you used to know at one point and met. That's better because they know you and you know them, so it's easier to bring them in and to explain. But like uh it's not strictly your deceased ancestors. I think it's people that, like for instance, you know, yes, it's our ancestors, yes, it's all that, but it can also be friends of your ancestors, you know, that knew you as well, you know. So I think it's possible that, you know, anybody can really come through any spirit because there also are orphans and kids that were adopted that never knew their parents. So, and there is kids who have died, like um, that never existed on earth. That was a miscarriage, but they became a spirit. And some kids will hang around you. Even animals can hang around you because they feel safe in your home. If you have a safe environment and a safe home, spirit will just hang out with you because, and you won't even know they're there. You got me? That's how I feel. That's what I've seen in reality, in real. I've seen that, you know. And spirit. Oh, I mean, mediums that I know always tell me I have a lot of children around me because they just want to hang out with me because they have no family, they have no parents. No, so they felt neglected. You know, if you gave up your child, they don't want you, just like how you didn't want them. So they go and hang out with someone else. So I don't really think it's strictly your ancestors. I just think that spirit will go where they're wanted, just like how us in reality are going to go where we're wanted. You know, so that's my answer on that. You're saying you know, but there was no spirit or afterlife where I came from. It's hard to explain. Well, that's the thing, Tristan. If you have a mother and a father, right? These people made you. So if they're passed away or you don't even know them, they could still be helping you without you even knowing they're helping you. You know what I mean? And if you have a pet that died, the pet can help you too. You know what I mean? So it's there is no such thing as no spirit or afterlife was where you came from. There's always someone. There's always someone. But you have to believe that. I can't like make you believe that. You have to believe that the spirit's there with you, you know? That's the thing. Mike, not sometimes, but like they don't really like show up like that. Like because I don't allow them to. Like, you know, I put myself to a point where I only deal with spirit when I'm doing this type of stuff. So they'll only come around now if they have something to say to somebody. But when I go to sleep, I pray and I go to sleep and that's it. I don't want them around. You know, I don't want them to be bothering me or irritating me. Or sometimes they'll be like in my room, you know, making a noise, or if I'm thinking about something out loud, they'll like confirm something for me. But they don't bother me or anything like that. There definitely is, Margot. I can guarantee you that. I've had people come to me for animal spirit readings, their pets and things like that. Yep. I've seen that plenty of times. I've dealt with that. I've dealt with people's cats, dogs, animals, and things like that. I can like sometimes I can describe your pet and tell him like where he's sitting on like a specific bed he was on and things like that. You know? But I like I said, I can't guarantee I'm gonna see things for you because or anybody because sometimes it just happens. Like Sunny never really got her and a lot of people that come in here, they never asked me for a mediumship reading. The person would just appear, and I'll be like, hey Sonny, do you know this person? Or hey Margot, do you know this person? Hey Tristan, do you know this person? Hey Mike, do you know this person? And if you don't know that person, then obviously it's not for you, or it's somebody that knows you, but you might not know. See what I mean? So like sometimes I'll ask you, like, do you know this person? And then I'll elaborate because the person's so strongly in my, in my area, in my app, right then and there. So I have to say something, because the person wants to get a message across. But if you actually get like a reading with me, sometimes it'll work and sometimes it's like it's going to be difficult because of who it is, if they don't want it, and if they really feel like dealing with it. And I have to be also in a I also have to be open to it, you know what I mean? Like because I've learned to close it off, I don't really care to do it all the time. Because if I open up if I'm open all the time to spirit like mediumship without cards, like that's why I use these cards. I rather give it to you like that because it takes so much more to give it to you right here, you know, um, live and like, to have interference and people all around and things like that. But sometimes it's like bang, bang, bang. It's like some days it's just spirit day. It's just a day where spirit's gonna come out for everybody. There's times where I'm in a mood and I'll be shuffling a card for every single person and I'll see spirit at the same time. And there's some days where I don't see it at all because it's not meant for me to like do. Like I'm not in the mood to do it all the time because it becomes draining, it becomes emotional, and um it becomes like overwhelming sometimes, and other people are like interfere or they'll be like, I can't believe this shit, this is crazy. I didn't even realize this was real. I made a lot of people a believers. Trust me when I tell you, there's a lot of people who doubt it, but I made them a believer, and they always thank me and tell me that I'm a blessing, and I appreciate that. But I'm not really the blessing. It's a blessing just to help like people get closure because people don't believe it. So I never believed it either. Sometimes I still don't believe it. If people didn't tell me I was telling them real shit and sending me pictures of the people that I saw, I probably still wouldn't believe it. I'd be like, yeah, I'm just daydreaming. This can't be real. I must be in some different world or something. But I've described people and they're like, oh, that's my uncle or that's my dad. And they'll send me a damn picture. And I'll be like, no way. That's the person who I just saw. I can't believe it. Like sometimes I'm in shock on how that's possible for me to see. But it is possible. Like it's just the way it is. It's life, it's life. Some people have the gift. I have it and I use it, but I don't use it in a bad way, and I'll never use it in a bad way. Somebody sent me a donation with a question. I don't know who this is. I don't want to say your name, obviously, but I was trying to. All right. Uh, The person who's doing it, just let me know if you're here so I can answer your question. Oh, hey BT, how you doing? I was like, who's this? I don't want to say your name, obviously, because I don't do that on here. I just, Oh yeah, definitely, Tristan. I definitely, yeah, that'll happen. Absolutely. Definitely, Margot. I definitely, yes. No problem, BT. I respect everybody's wishes. I know people don't like me to say, sometimes people say don't say my name or whatever. It's none of nobody's business. It's between me and you. I'm open with my name. I really don't, have a problem with that. But some people are not like me, obviously. Tristan, yes, and Margot, yes. Definitely. If he's here snoring in the background, it's all right. If you were at BT, if you were to rent it, right, it'll be good for a little while, but it wouldn't be good for a long term type of thing. I feel like you'll rent it, but you'll always have like difficulties. You'll be anticipating the rent. I feel like you'd have to get like a couple to rent it. And if this couple were to rent it, they're nice people, but they might not like stay there that long, possibly 9 months. So if you want long term rental, then I don't think that's gonna happen. Like it won't be good to rent it. Just these if you get like people that want to rent it, they're only gonna rent it for a short period of time or for 9 months is a long time, but not really. But like I feel like they'll rent it for like a couple months. They only want like a couple months here and there. I don't see like no long term. And if there is someone who does it long term, they're not gonna make the sacrifice or the effort to upkeep the unit or treat it like their own. You know what I mean? It's like whoever you rent, if you were to rent it, you're gonna rent it to someone who really doesn't give a shit about it and wouldn't treat it like how they're supposed to treat it. You know what I mean? So renting it is okay, but not okay. So let's see if you were to sell it, would you be able to sell it soon? That's interesting. All right. If you were to sell it, I feel like you could sell it like soon, like within the next, you know. Yeah, if you were to sell it, you can possibly sell it in the next three months or so, 3 to 6 months. It'll definitely I wouldn't say definitely, but there's definitely like a person who wants to buy it. I feel like you have two people that will buy it, and it's two men, right, that will want to buy the unit outright. One guy, he's going to try to like be selfish and try to put you to a price where you're like, no, you're out of your mind. And then there's another guy who's very conscious and honest and mature and friendly. I think that he's the right person to sell it to. I think there's two men. One is an ass, and one is actually someone who will actually buy it from you. And I think if you buy it, you'll get what you want for it from this guy, and you'll be happy, and you'll feel like you made a productive sell, and you'll feel very happy selling it because it's out of your hair and out of your mind, and it's gone. I would say try not to sell to the first person you deal with, especially if it's a man. Try to sell to the second person that comes with an offer. I feel like the first offer is shit. The second offer will be way better from a guy. And I feel like it could be possibly like I'm gonna say like a month from like next month or within this month. It's very possible that if you put it out there, I don't know if you have put it out on the market yet, but if you put it out on the market within a month, you'll get some type of proposal for it. But I'm seeing like within the next 3 months, it'll be gone. You'll be definitely selling it. I keep saying definitely. I guess that's what it is then. I can't stop saying it, I guess. But I just feel like there's one guy who's gonna rub you the wrong way, and there's gonna be another guy that's gonna be like, okay, yeah, it's been on the market for 9 months. Okay, well, that's the 9 months that I saw then. See, that's the thing. I get a better situation for selling it than renting it, to be honest. So yeah, that must have been the 9 because I saw a 9 in the last time I shuffled because I thought 9 months that somebody will rent it for 9 months. Hey, Jessica, how are you, sweetie? So, BT, to answer your question, I would not rent it. I would sell it soon, and I feel like you will sell it soon. I don't know if you've had people to come see it yet. That's my question to you. Have you had in the last 9 months, have you had at least 2 men come to see it? That's my question to you because I want to know why I see this. Yeah, I'm doing good. I've been on here talking about spirit and mediumship and all sorts of stuff, answering questions as usual. Yeah, BT. So I do see you selling it eventually, and it could be within the next month or so, or the next 3 to 6 months. But time is very hard to predict, and I don't like to like predict it too much. But I feel like you're asking me soon, and I feel like within the next people, like there are lots of inspections. One asks to see the contract of the seller and asks me to change many stuff. Then he changed his mind. Right, that's not the right person. I see that this person is not. Yeah, see that person is a no-no. I saw that, but I see there's another person that's serious. There's actually a friendly, kind person that won't ask you to do all that stuff, and I feel like this is the person that's going to buy it. And I think this person is like a father, and he's like got a family, so he needs to like if this unit is a place where a guy can like start a family in, like or bring his family there, then it'll be ideal for him for now. But I do feel like it's a man that's gonna buy the unit. That's what I feel, and that's what I got here in the card. So I'm going with that, like I always do. I feel like this person's married. They possibly can have a child, and they want to move into this unit. They want to buy it. So I would say don't be surprised if this happens in the next month or so, or even this month. Yeah, I honestly like you do what you have to do. You know what I mean? If you need, obviously, if you want to rent it, then you can do it. But I don't see renting helping. I see renting being difficult, to be honest. Yeah. But that you have to ask yourself this, like this is the thing, right? And you have to ask yourself this, if you rent it, you're always gonna have to deal with it. If you sell it, it's gone, right? So what do you want to do? You still want to deal with it and rent it, or you just want to sell it and be gone? Eventually things will sell. It's just you have to find the right person, or the right person has to find it. You know what I mean? So if you don't want to rent it, then don't do it. If the agent keeps pushing you, yeah, exactly. If you prefer to sell it, then sell it. Yeah. And I honestly, I get out of the cards for rent, I don't get nothing good. But to sell it, I do see a man wanting to buy it. But I did see this other person being selfish and not wanting it. So yeah, yeah. I'm not even gonna look anymore. I'm definitely like seeing that you'll sell it soon. Yeah, I definitely see you selling it soon. I got the Ace of Swords again, like upright. So that's telling me yes, that you're gonna sell it. You're welcome. No problem. Wish you luck on that, but uh, I had a lot of rent horror stories from a lot of people, and I live in my sister's apartment, and the only reason I'm here is because I'm family. And the people that used to live here, they effed this place all up. It was a disaster when I came in here. And when I left my other apartment, my landlord didn't want me to go. They refused me, like they didn't want me to leave because they said that I was the best tenant they ever had. you know? So it's so hard to find a good tenant. It's so hard to find somebody to rent your shit and maintain it and have it, in a good place. People rent things and they don't give a shit about it. So to me, if I ever had a unit or a house, I would never rent it. I'd rather just sell it and get rid of. Like when you rent shit, people fuck it all up, and then it ends up the rent money you made has to go right back into the thing to get it right back to on point again, to entice somebody else to rent. And I'm a property manager. Like I deal with property management. I take care of like 4 different properties, and each one of the properties have an apartment. And when I go into those apartments, they're immaculate. You know why? Because the landlord says if I find out you're doing shit in here and you're not maintaining my apartment, then you're out of here, because I don't want nobody in here effing up my apartment. Hell no. This shit costs money. So that's the thing. And when I go into those apartments to do work sometimes, I'm like, damn, this place looks good, you know? I'm actually, saying no, there is good people out there renting places. But if I had a choice, I would always sell. I would never rent. How I know rent brings money, but it also brings headaches. There's nothing like being sleeping at night and your tenant calls you and says, "Hey, there's a leak in my bathroom. There's water everywhere," and you're like, "I'm gonna deal with this shit." I remember my old boss. He had an apartment, and it was a woman, a single mom, and her daughter. And the daughter drew things with crayon all over the white walls through the whole house. And when he went in there, he was like, "What the fuck is this shit? What the hell are these people done to my damn apartment?" And she let the daughter scribble crayons throughout the whole house all over the walls. And she says, "Look, the $1,200 like rent, like you can, yeah, like the deposit or whatever it was. I think it was like a $1,200 deposit. She said, keep it so you can pay somebody to scrub this shit off the walls and paint the walls again." And he says that $1,200 wasn't even enough to repaint everything, because crayon can't just be painted over. You have to scrub that shit off and then primer and paint it, and hopefully it doesn't react again. So she had to pay like more money to get it all done. And he said he never rented it ever again. He keeps it as an office now. because he didn't really need it to start off with. So that was like a horror story I always remember with rent. And when I moved in here, it was a disaster. Like the woman that lived here with the guy, it was like a couple that lived here, and she had lipstick on every single knob of every door. Like, you know how women put lipstick on, right? And like, they touch their lips or whatever, and then they touch something, and they don't wipe their hands before they touch it. Like, on like all the cabinets was full of her lipstick. Her hair, she had long black hair. Her hair was all over the place. When I took the vacuum and vacuumed the carpet upstairs, the vacuum almost caught on fire from all her hair intertwined in the vacuum. It was disgusting. Everything was like the oven got I we threw away all the appliances. It was all completely destroyed. So yeah, yeah. Hey Lauren, how you doing? Yeah, BT, I would say, and plus you want to sell it, so just stick with that. Don't listen to the agents and all that stuff. Listen to yourself, and for that to come up in the cards, I would say, you're doing the right thing. How you doing, Lauren? Yeah, I never forget it, man. I came up here and I started to like, yeah, I know, right? Yeah, I'm telling you, like my sister and my brother-in-law, when they came inside here after they left, like we were in awe how those people, how dirty they left this place and how disrespectful they were. The oven was like, and this woman's home all day, and her husband just worked and just bring home the bread, and she was here, and there was like a big pole here, right? And she did yoga and shit, right? So I used to call it the stripper pole. So she left it behind. It was one of those poles you just poke, clink and poke up. So she was doing yoga on there. So I had like some dirty thoughts, obviously. Um, so I was like, this woman even left her stripper pole, her yoga pole behind, and I got rid of that because I didn't want nothing to do with that, because that put bad thoughts in my mind. I would have turned this into a strip club, but anyway, long story short, they left it all in a mess. The bathroom was a disaster. The bathtub had all these stains in it. Like, I don't know how they live like that. I don't know how people live like that. Like, you don't know what Clorox is? So I was here for like over a week cleaning everything. My mom came over and helped me. I've been here for 13 years now. But when we first moved in, but I couldn't even move in right away. Like, I had to fix everything. I had to repaint everything. We had to get all new appliances. It was a disaster. And her hair was everywhere. Like I said, it burnt the vacuum. The vacuum was completely, and I wasn't about to touch that dirty hair. Lord knows what they was doing around here. So, I took the vacuum downstairs and I told my sister, look, the best thing to do is rip this carpet right up, roll it up, and put it in the trash. Her hair, the carpet, everything's got to go. And she was like, yep, let's do it. Because if not, we're going to burn out every vacuum. I was like, hell no. No thanks. Yeah, very gross. Like, that's why I can never own a house with an apartment or ever rent anything, because I've seen a lot of renting horror stories. I've seen it all. And your tenant will complain because they're paying rent every month. So some tenants are real assholes. Like, they want like everything, oh, I'm paying this, so I should have that. I'm paying this, so I should have this. I've seen it all happen because I've watched it unfold, and I'm like, I've always told myself, Mark, don't ever own a house with an apartment and rent it to somebody, because I can see myself like going crazy or like fighting the person. But yeah. Mention about insurance. Well, insurance is a scam anyway. And insurance is just benefiting, the insurance company. Insurance only benefits the insurance company because the insurance company gets all the money, not you. Insurance nowadays is, you pay for insurance every month, and then you still go to the doctor and you still got to pay for medication. You still got to pay a certain percentage of the visit. It's a joke, and then you pay house insurance, and then if your house burns down, you don't even get another house back. You just get some money and say, yeah, go find somewhere else. So what's the sense of really having insurance? And then people say, well, you get back something. Like what? You don't get back what you have. You never get back what your value is. That don't happen. Trust me, it doesn't. Especially if you live somewhere like here where there's hurricanes. Hurricanes destroyed many houses around here, and nobody gets their roof back. You don't get no money back. The insurance company says, well, you knew it was a hurricane, so you should have done this, and we can only give you 10%, and we can only give you a certain amount of money. We can't completely, so what am I paying all this money for then? The money I've paid you for the past umpteen years could pay for this job. So where the fuck's my money? No. It's just like pension. Pension is the same thing. You work all your life, and when you go 65, you can't even get the amount of pension that you need to live. It's ridiculous. So, it's everything's a scam. You just gotta. What's the best insurance? And I don't know if I sound like a broken record, but Spirit and God is the best insurance you can ever have. I tell everybody, God is my insurance. And I'll tell you a brief story. When COVID came out and the vaccine came out, everybody said, Mark, you got to get the vaccine. I'm like, nope. God's my vaccine. Spirit is my vaccine. Spirit's the first vaccine. God's the second vaccine, and the booster will be Spirit and God again. Don't you understand that? If you believe, then you don't need that shit. And if you go get that shit, then you don't really believe then. So I use reverse psychology on a lot of people. And now people are telling me, yeah, I wish I would have listened to you. And I was like, well, there you go. Don't blame me. Blame yourself. I told you. You don't want to listen. And here I am, alive to tell the story. But hey, I can't tell you what to believe, and I can't tell you what to do. I can just suggest that works for me. If it works for me, obviously it can work for all of us. See, it works for my dog too. She's sleeping, snoring, right here alive. Oh man, it's a tough world to live in, but hey, I can only do so much. But my cousin told me yesterday when we were working together, he says, man, I wish I would have never got none of that shit and believed. I said, well, you live and learn, bro. Now you know for next time. Yep, Jessica, you're right. Insurance is not assurance. Yep. Sad. Everybody should go with their intuition. That's my suggestion always. Go with your intuition. If you hear it, believe it, do it. It's for a reason. All right. I've been on here for like 2 hours. If anybody needs anything, speak now. If not, I'm going to be out of here. If you need anything, let me know now. If not, I'm gone. I'm gone. Oh, man. I missed the score. Yeah, sure. You're welcome, BT. You made me think. Just dealing with your question, you made me think about all the people that I knew that said to me, "Mark, don't ever get a damn apartment that you have to rent, or don't ever rent anything." When I heard that, I was like, "Yep, I'll take your advice." And then when I actually worked at places like that and been in this apartment, I realized that everybody was telling me the truth. Don't rent that shit. Sell it. Get rid of it. Invest in something else. I'm like, "Yep, I know. I'll take your advice." All right, I just received your I just received your thing here. All right. Go ahead and ask, and I think this is Tristan. I got yours as well. I'll take care of you after BT. I got both of yours at like the exact same time. All right. All right. You say you want a reading about George and you. Okay. You hear this dog in the background? I don't know if you guys hear her, but like she's snoring like crazy. Look. She's in her own little world. She's something else. I wish I could sleep like that so fast. Oh, right. I remember I told you to go and message him. So it worked then. You mentioned him last time. He seemed to be happy, but then did not tell me much about his life. Yeah, I don't think he's going to because I don't want him. He probably doesn't want to be embarrassed about talking about his life or whatever. But I do got good cards here for you, BT, about George. I feel like George is putting in a lot of personal effort and things that look better than last time we talked. 'Cause I think that was about a month ago, maybe. Um, yeah, it looks like he's being more mature, more responsible. He's being very patient and persistent. Um, he's trying to like work hard and get his life in order. People looking at him as very dependable now. Um, you know, yeah, the dog, yeah. Um, like people, I think he's like doing what he has to do. I think that he's putting in a lot of personal effort to make his life better. So that's why like he was happy when you message him and seems to be happy. Um I don't know if he's told you that like he's working hard or he's getting like he's getting his life in order or whatnot. But I think I've got like all positive things here. Like he could have got like he could be in a job where he's like using his hands, he's crafty, like he's learning things, he's being very he's committed to like his job. And because he's committed to his job, he feels better. Like he's making money, he feels like he's doing something worth his life. I think he's slowly but surely being patient and persistent. How he views you is he's being discreet with you, obviously. But he's also like he's glad he's talking to somebody that's single. If you've told him you're single, then that's probably making him happy because he knows that you're not you're like interested, obviously, or you're like You have you're single. I got the Nine of Pentacles here. I got all Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles, and the Knight of Pentacles. So it's all earth energy, all grounded energy, all energy that is to do with finances, money, getting things organized, slowly but surely, slow and steady wins the race, as I want to say. So I feel like he's going to be talking to you again. I feel like things are going to progress between you guys. Things are going to get better, but it's going to be like a process. I feel like when he has time, he'll say something, but I still feel like he feels empty inside, like he's not really sure what to do. But by you messaging him, it made him like feel better about himself and better about situation. Ah, okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I remember you saying something like that. So right now, like it looks like he's putting in a lot of personal effort into that. That makes sense because I see him like I don't know if he like works with his hands, but I feel like he's really wanting to get this done. But I mean, I think that he feels safe with you, like he feels safe talking to you. Um, he also feels like you're a discreet person, like you're not really saying too much as well. So he's like, or maybe he feels like you're being discreet, or feel like you're being like, or he feels like you're more accomplished than he is. I think I told you that last time. That's how I think about it. But I think that he's still like, I feel like he still feels like you guys are compatible. He feels like you guys are compatible. But I don't like I said, I don't see a relationship or anything, but I do feel like, there might be more communication. There might be some more talks, or might be some like, hey, how you doing or whatever, things like that. But I still feel like he feels like empty, like he doesn't really want to get into a relationship with anybody. And that's probably why, because he's going to go study for a year. So I see him super focused on his personal effort, like his personal goals and what he wants to do. So I know that's probably not what you want to hear. You want to hear like he wants to ask you out and date you and fall in love and be happy. But I think it's more about him. He's more focused on his life, and that makes more sense that he's going to stop working for a year and go study. But he does look at you as a person that is compatible to him, and he likes talking to you or whatnot. But um, I kind of still think that from looking at the cards, he feels like you're overqualified, or you have more than he does. You know, I don't know if he knows you have like the unit, and if he doesn't have anything like that, then it might make him feel intimidated. Whereas somebody like me will be like, "Oh yeah, you got your own place? Oh cool, let's go live there then." I'm just teasing. But he's probably not the type of person that feels that way, if that makes sense. You know. So that's what I got, BT. Georgie Porgy is focused on his life. He's not really wanting to be in a relationship. I don't see love on his mind. I see like work and personal efforts on his mind. So it makes sense. But who knows? Who knows? I still feel like he's slowly seeing things. But at least you reached out to him, and he responded, and he seemed happy. That's better than nothing, right? I'm glad you did it, because then that makes a person think. When a woman, you know, does the communication, like it makes the guy like a guy like kind of think about it. It makes him feel like, hey, this girl's interested in me, and she probably knows I don't have as much as her or do it, but she probably doesn't. She's not bothered by it, so I guess like this could work. You know, yeah. See, so there you go. Yeah, there's a connection there. He does feel compatible, but I think that is, a lot of men can't multitask either, BT. A lot of men, they have to do one thing at a time. Look, I'm going to work, I'm going to study, and then I'll deal with a woman. Like they have it all mapped up. But sometimes it don't work that way. Sometimes, hey, it's opposite way around. Sometimes you don't go nowhere and you just deal with the person. You know? All right. Tristan, I got your donation here, and it says, I got a message. The spirit has been trying. Not a message, that spirit. Never a message. Sometimes, lifetimes. What does that mean? All right. So yeah, and that's like I said, BT, he's very focused on his life now. He's like I gotta block everything out and focus on me, which is great. That's good for him. And that's good. I'm glad. That's good. I see that he's getting better and better. Last time I read for him, I don't think it was that positive, but this time it was. So it looks like he's gotten better. And the last time I spoke with you, his life is better, seems better. That's why he seemed to be happy when he spoke to you. No, that's fine, Tristan. I had to read it. I always read it twice and see what I can do for you, obviously. That's fine, sweetheart. We'll figure it out together. First of all, Tristan, you got to be open to it. If you're open to receiving the message, then it'll come through. If you're not open to it, then it probably doesn't come across as what it's meant to be. You know what I mean? So that's the first thing. And the second thing is like, you have to honestly, like, you don't really, if you don't know who it's coming from, then it might be coming from somebody that, that's not even worth the message, having the message from. Okay, you're welcome, BT. No problem. Oh, you're already in the future. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's almost midnight here. It's 11:52. I'm gonna head out after this, but it was good seeing you. Take care, and all was gonna be good. Just stay positive. And thanks. I will have a good rest, hopefully. All right. Right. All right. So what I get here is this person's trying to like make you see the light. Like this person wants you to like not live in denial. Like stop denying it. Stop denying to yourself. Stop living in self-denial if you do. And they want you to like illuminate yourself. Like they want you to like open up your like your beacon of light. Be the light for once. Like I feel like you'll get more knowledge of it and you'll learn more about it. If you keep to yourself and you're like a hermit, you stay home, you go to work, you do what you have to do, like you don't really like, you withdraw from public things, then this person wants you to continue to do that, but also get as much information and be discreet as you can and not publicize your life or tell people about your life. If you're doing that, then they want you like to not be that way to a certain extent. Another thing is the message they want to deliver is like if you daydream a lot and you have these fantasies and like unrealistic attitude about life and how things are going to be and how things are supposed to be, and you think about the future a lot, like they want you to like not to make plans, because if yeah, see, that's thing. Try not to be that way. Try to be more discreet with your life, because being very public is allowing too much to be seen, too much to be heard, too much to be like. I think that I think people are impressive with your appearance, but they feel like you have no substance. They feel like you're not who you say you are, or who they publicly see you are. Like, I think that people look at you that way, but who cares what they think, right? But if you think they look at you like that, then try not to think that way. And like, if you have this notion where you think that you think that you're successful, but you in your mind you want to be more successful, or you think it's like an illusion, and then that's something that spirit's trying to fix. Like, they don't want you to think this is an illusion. They want you to actually think that this is real, and they want you to think, to know that you have opportunities ahead of you in the coming events that you're going to deal with. But you have to keep looking to the future and stop worrying about what people think, what people say, what people view you as, if they think you have any substance, or if they think you have any oomph, or if people like might perceive you as something that you aren't, and then you might be like, no, I'm not like that, and then but you really are. Or if they think that way, who cares if they think that way? And I see you said that, I think I know who she is. Now, this person is a person who, um, like, what I see here is this lady has like short gray hair, right? And she could have been like a person who also had like fantasies about life and how she wanted things to be. And she also appeared to be doing things, but not really, like, always, like, her plans would fail, or whatever she did was short lived, like, was something that she did, but not really like stuck to it. And if you're also a type of person who does something and don't stick to it, then they want you to like stop being that way. Like, complete your tasks. Stop worrying about the past. If you had bitter experiences, if you're not happy, if you feel stuck in your life, they want you to get out of that rut. Like, be aware that you don't have to live in a fake fantasy, or you don't have to be wishful thinking all the time. You just have to live your life and just let them help you. Like I was saying earlier, like, um, they might be delivering this message to you all the time, but you're not taking it. And that's why the message seems like they've been trying to deliver the message for lifetimes, but you're not listening to the message because you're not doing what you're probably meant to be doing. You might be the type of person that you cater to everybody else, but not to yourself as much, and you should be. You have to ask yourself those questions, you know? Okay, Lauren. Thank you, sweetie. I'll get to you right after Tristan here. Yeah. See, and that's the thing. If you make a lot of friend groups and bring people together, right? So that's what you're telling me. And right. See? And that's where they say that, see, this is what I see. Whereas the message here is you can't make no long lasting friendships, because these people look at you as someone who appears to be this nice, decent person, but they don't want to be around you forever. It's like, okay, you helped me and goodbye. Or you're just a person that was in my life for a reason or a season. You know what I mean? So if that affects you, if you can't ever seem to make a solid, long lasting friendship, that means that exactly what I'm seeing. You're doing things that you're not meant to be doing. It's not meant to be long lasting. It's supposed to be short lived. These people are not supposed to be, the people that you're dealing with are not meant for you to have long lasting friendships. They were just meant to see you, hear you, know you, and then that's it. Bye. Next. I don't know if you heard me earlier, but some people I read, I never see them ever again because that's all they needed. you know, and that's the same thing. People are just gonna come in and out of your life, and then that's it. And that's why, like, this spirit's trying to tell me the message here is, you said, what does it mean and what do I need to do when you receive this message? What I feel you should do is be more discreet. Don't be too public. Take care of yourself. Focus more on you. And then once you start focusing more on you and not trying to make friend groups and try not to make people come together. Listen, I had the same problem. When I came on here 3 years ago, I tried to bring all the psychics together. I tried to bring everybody. I tried to collaborate with all sorts of people and show people how real this is and how wonderful, what a gift we have, how we can help people. But it backfired because that wasn't meant for me to do. Spirit was like, what the hell are you doing? You're not supposed to bring everybody together. That's not your job. Your job is to use us to help these people individually. Who cares about the other psychics? Don't worry about them. You got to help them too. But it's not your job to bring people together. That's our job. You see? So the message from Spirit is, your job is to not do that. That's why it don't work. When shit don't work, it's not meant for us. I know it's great to do. You bring people together, you help people and things like that. See, right now, I'm not really helping any of my psychic friends unless I'm reading for them and helping them personal one-on-one or giving them a message. But I'm not sitting here and promoting them or telling people about them like that because that's not my job. Because when I do that, it backfires on me. So I learned not to do that ever again and just allow things to just naturally happen. So, that's from what you're telling me and what the answer to the question is that's what the message is from Spirit, is to not to give too much and just take care of yourself. Yeah. I'm glad it makes sense because it makes sense to me now that you've said those things. It makes a lot more sense to me. Lauren, go ahead and ask your question, sweetheart. So that's the message, Tristan, is to take care of you. Do what you have to do. Try not to bring people together. I know it sucks because you want to help, but it's not meant for you to do. Because those people don't take you serious. And I don't know if you noticed that, but obviously you do, because it says you can't never seem to make solid, long-lasting relationships. And that's why, because these people don't look at you with enough substance. They don't give a shit. All right, Lauren, you said I manage. Let me tell you something. Sometimes, I'll tell you this before I move on to Lauren. And anybody who listens to this, my mom always says, my friends are my teeth, and that's when they don't hurt. Let me tell you, I used to have a lot of friends, because I was a DJ for 20 years. And I became very popular here because I was one of the best. And I had every hoe around me. I had all the guys around me, wanted to be like me. All the hoes all over me. Shit like that. And that was the worst part of my life because I had too many friends, too many bad people, too many energies. And then when I got rid of everybody, and now I just have my nephews, my family, my online friends, and myself, that's a wrap. I only have maybe 2 decent friends that I can really truly count on. Everybody else is a joke. I went from having thousands of friends to having maybe 1 or 2, and my family. That's the best. See, Lauren said I only got 1 true friend. Everyone else is acquaintances. There you go. Hey Nina, how are you, sweetheart? How you been? See, it's not. See, that's the thing. You said I'm just trying to make friends, and it's tough. See, that's not your job to make friends. It's your job to take care of you, and then out the right people will come into your life and offer you, a friendship and offer you a friend. Like that's the thing. It's I know you're trying to make a friend, but you gotta allow them to try and make you their friend instead of you making their. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. You're my friend. That's all that matters. We can be friends. Okay, Nina, cool. How was work? Good? All right, Lauren, you say. You're welcome, Tristan. No problem, sweetie. All right. Lauren, you said. All right, good night. Take care. Lauren, you said I message. Yeah, I agree, Nina. I messaged Jay that he might need to move in with your mama because my parents need to stay with me till they find out the place. He hasn't responded or been home since Tuesday. He is mad. Okay. So what do you want to, so what's the question? So you want to know if he's going to like come back or? Oh, you say, oh, since Tuesday. Is he mad? Okay, never mind. I read that wrong. My bad. Oh, what's he thinking of? All right, cool. Well, if he hasn't responded, then that's saying yeah. All right. He hasn't responded obviously because he's very uncertain about the advice you're giving him. He doesn't want to argue with you. I think that's another reason why he hasn't like responded. And that's how he's feeling, like he doesn't want to like argue or he doesn't want any conflict with you. And he doesn't want to work with his baby mama. He feels like she doesn't understand him, or like he'd rather be alone, or she would rather be alone without him, maybe. Um, if he has like, if he can move in with his father or brother, I think he would rather do that if that's the case. Because I got like I got that, he wants to be a father to his child and he will think about doing it, but he knows it's not going to work. And that's how he feels. Like, I feel like he is mad at you because you told him to give, you gave him that advice. I also think that, he'd rather be with you because he cares about you probably more than he cares about his baby mom. I don't know. Something is telling me that he might be like, he has to make some type of, he wants to go where he's going to be stable, and he thinks that probably that's not the right. Yeah. Like, I don't think he wants to go to his baby mom's house. I think that he's gonna probably stay with his dad or his brother, if that makes sense. I think that's what he wants to do, or that's the option that he has, right? But as far as like how yeah. I think he's staying there probably just because of the child, I guess. If that makes sense. But I don't think like I don't think he wants to be there though. You know, like, did he say to you that he wants to be there because of his child? That's my question. Like, so I think that's why he's staying there because he's been staying at her place more lately. So I thought he can just stay there. Yeah, I think he just enjoys being a father to his child. That's about it. But I think that he argues with his baby mama, and I don't think that like it's not good him being there. To be honest, I'm kind of like seeing a lot of different things here because if he's been there, yeah. See, that's the thing. I think that's the only reason why he's staying there because he wants to be a father to his child. I think that him being a father to his child is more to him than his baby mom. Like, I don't think he wants to be with his baby mom, but he'd rather be with his child. Hmm. That's difficult. Like, I honestly, because of this, because you told him that he needs to like because you told him this and he's mad, obviously, right? And he hasn't responded to you and been home. I think that he's ready to like break things off possibly with you and like say, that's it. But I think that like I think he likes you so much that he doesn't want to do that. So I think that he's kind of like in between minds right now. To be honest, I think he's in between minds. I don't think he has a real like concrete decision that he wants to make. But I feel like because you told him that, it's like he's like, well, she don't want me there, then fuck it. I'm not doing this. I don't care about her no more type of thing. I think he's just mad right now. And I think he can possibly like break things off with you and say, I don't want to deal with you and that's it. And make the transition and change and just deal with it. But that's the thing. I don't like I think he's finding it hard to let go of like the situation with you because he knows you have good intentions and he knows you mean well. But in order for him to like well, that's the thing. If you've already messaged him and he hasn't responded, then no answer is an answer. It's like he's pretty much saying, you can't help me, so what the hell am I gonna do? I might as well leave you and just yeah, go back to my baby mama or go somewhere else. Because at the end of the day, right, he can't be with you. He can't stay with you because you're dealing with your parents, right? Yeah. I mean, you can message him if you want. Let me check if you were to message him, how would if he were to respond to you? If you were to message him, I think that he'll have difficulties dealing with it. Ah. Yeah. Yeah, that's why I kind of see him like kind of calling things off now and just like not dealing with you anymore at some like I think that's what he wants to do. He wants to like say, fuck it, I don't want to deal with Lauren anymore. And another thing, if you were to message him, I think it's gonna cause arguments and conflict. I think he's gonna be like, "Yeah, you don't just you don't understand. You're all about yourself and blah blah blah. I'm trying to work things out and you're making it worse. So blah blah blah." I think it's gonna start an argument. If you were to message him and he would have messaged you back, I think it's gonna cause conflict. I don't know if you guys have argued before or lately, but I think it'll turn into an argument and there'll be a lot of like back and forth. See, that's a no-no. Like what you're telling me, like I wouldn't put up with that shit to be honest. That's some crazy shit. You ain't bringing your baby mama around my house. Hell no. She stays outside. She didn't even come around here. I don't blame you. Like I do not blame you. I wouldn't put up with that shit. But why would he bring her to your place anyway? That don't even make no sense. That's too much drama, Lauren. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, but I see arguments and stuff happening between you guys and possibly him saying, you know what, I'm had enough. You know, I don't know. I mean, I don't. Maybe you don't want to hear that, but that's what I see. Like I see him possibly like getting into an argument with you and then like just not dealing with it anymore. And if he's not respecting you as far as bringing his baby mama to your house, then that's just telling you something right there. Yeah, like I said, I think he'll message you back, but it'll be an argument. It'll be like a back and forth argument, or like some type of conflict between you guys. When he does message you back, it's gonna be an argument. That's what I see. So it doesn't look good. I don't get anything positive, to be honest. Yeah. You know what, Lauren? I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you what to do with your life, but that's like a red flag right there. You know what I mean? I know you might, love them or care about them or whatever, but like that's like a red flag in itself. If you're telling a guy not to bring his baby mama to your house and he still does, then that shows a lack of respect for you. That's just my opinion. I don't even know if you want to hear my opinion, but that's just like my opinion. Like, I don't want to see you get hurt or, see you go through that type of shit because you don't deserve that. Nobody does. But like, I guess you gotta ask yourself that, or maybe like you need to hear that from me. But that's just my opinion. And that's also my dog snoring in the background, by the way. But like, I just feel like you deserve better than that. And I don't think that, if you're not getting respect from your boyfriend, then when are you gonna get respect? That's bullshit. If I say that to my girl, she brings her dead baby daddy to my place, I'm gonna be like, yeah, you do that again, it's done. I don't want that guy around here. You want him, you hang out with him or go live with him then. Go back to him. Like even the fact that he's living with her, that's crazy if you think about it. Put yourself in the opposite predicament. Say like it was happening to you. Like say you were the one that has the baby and the baby daddy. You honestly think that he will accept your baby daddy coming to his house? Like sometimes we gotta like live the reverse world and see how it is. Like But I don't know, sweetie. You do what you got to do. I don't, I like to put in my 2 cents and my advice, but it's up to you to make the decision at the end of the day to live with that or to deal with that or to just move on from it. Um, I wish you the best, but I don't see nothing good here, to be honest. I wish I had better news for you, but I just don't see anything positive coming out of it. All right, sweetie. It's past midnight here. I'm gonna go get some sleep. I've been on here for like 3 hours. Those 3 hours went by super fast. I should be here tomorrow night around this time, I guess. If anybody needs to know that, I should be here tomorrow. You're welcome, Lauren. Wish you the best, sweetheart. You deserve better. And just take, care of your parents and take care of yourself and see how it all pans out, All right, sweetheart, take care. Good seeing you, and thanks as well. Good night, sweetheart. Take care.